What's good, guys? Welcome back to the Milk Carton series. I'm your host, Stephanie. If you are new tuning in, welcome to our family of the crime lovers. Now, today is Wednesday, and I'm starting a new series as we continue to build. So I want to dedicate Wednesdays to our Jane Doe. I feel like we don't cover them enough, and I feel like they deserve just as much attention as our missing and crime stories. So I really want to make sure I dedicate a day to them. So welcome to Jane Doe Wednesdays. Today's Jane Doe is called the Suitcase Jane Doe. Sounds so eerie and so scary, but this is what happens, guys. It's so real out here when it comes to these crimes. July 11, 1995, local fishermen were in the area of Brandywine Creek in the eastern area of Pennsylvania. While fishing, these local fishermen began to develop a sense of smell that was so funky. And if you ever smell death, then you know exactly what I am referring to. Death has this smell that it is just unlike anything in this world. So as they were fishing, the smell just creeped up on them, and it led them to finding a suitcase. The suitcase was partially submerged in mud along with the creek. It was also wrapped up in this plastic wrapping paper. So it was as if someone had put, you know, the plastic that you see that's heavy duty. It's like they put that down and then wrapped the suitcase in it. And if you're thinking what I'm thinking, they did this because they didn't want either blood to get out, and of course you can't harbor smell, especially death smell, if you ever encounter. Pray you guys do not have to. So as he came upon this suitcase, of course curiosity came into play. You want to know, what is this suitcase doing here? And little did he know, when he opened the suitcase, he would come to find a woman whose legs were missing, and she was dead. She was deceased, and the smell of death just creeped up on him. Of course, the fisherman called the local police. The police department ends up coming to where investigation begins of the body, human body. It said that the body was already decomposing, and that the person who did this, they put the human remains in a bed sheet, then wrapped it in plastic. Yes, so wrapped it in plastic and then put it in another quilt and put it into the suitcase. Suitcase was also bounded. So it was as if the person who killed this Jane Doe knew for a fact what they were doing, and they wanted to ensure that this suitcase would not open. So on January 26th of 1996, a jogger was running in a wooded area located in the Buckstown, Pennsylvania area. They ended up finding the legs of the deceased person that was found in the suitcase. The police department comes to this area. They find a leg, and the leg was badly decomposed, and of course it had animal marks from it because there was really no skin attached to this leg at all. And they ended up finding some clothes as well that was dug into a shallow grave. Clothes were ranged from casual to dressy type clothes, which was located in a green plastic bag that, like I said previously, that was in this shallow grave. The torso and the leg were found were about 50 miles apart from one another. So as the body that was sent to perform an autopsy, it had come out that this Jane Doe was killed 3 to 5 days prior to her body being found. But it also stated that the murder could have also occurred at least 2 weeks before this. The coroner basically said that it was really hard to determine a cause of death because the body was submerged in water. And as you guys know, water takes away any physical evidence. And so it was just basically clear that, of course, this Jane Doe died by homicide. I mean, given the facts of it all. You know, you cut this woman's body up and put her in a suitcase. There was no evidence that her body showed signs of rape, of assault, but her body did show that she went through trauma. I mean, come on. Had bruises to her right eye as well as her back. So it was obvious that something had occurred prior to her being killed. Blood level for alcohol came back that she had at least 1 to 2 drinks, but it did not indicate that she was intoxicated, nor did she have any drugs in her system from the toxicology report. Determined that her legs were separated from her torso post-mortem, and it also indicated that she weren't able to use any DNA to confirm if in fact these were her legs, due to weren't able to use DNA to compare the legs to the torso, but they were able to match the legs to the torso by the help of another hospital. So they were able to put the legs to the torso to see if in fact it was this Jane Doe's legs. It had been stated that her marks matched up to the top proportion of her body. Doe's ethnicity was not able to be confirmed, but it had been stated that she's either a Caucasian woman or Hispanic because she had light. It is said to believe that she is around 17 to 40 years of age, 4 feet and 11 inches to 5 feet 4 inches. Weight was indicated at around 120 pounds to 140 pounds. Her hair was listed as a dark brown and she had brown eyes, and her ears were also. Fingerprints were ran, but nothing came up. So it said that either she came from the Philadelphia area or she did not come from the United States, because there was no fingerprints on this woman at all. They are certain that she was killed elsewhere, and then her body, of course, was dumped in this creek in Pennsylvania. Now, they do list 5 rule outs of who this Jane Doe may be. This basically rules out any of these missing women. It basically states the disappearance date, so that way it was, kind of rule it out, so that way this is not that individual. We have Holly Painter, missing on June 26, 1995. E. Hudsonwit, probably mispronouncing her last name, but she went missing on June 27th of 1995. Tina Finley, who went missing on March 7, 1988. Sarah Aites, who went missing in January of 1987, but her body was later found in March of the same year, so she was ruled out as well. Nicole Russo, who went missing on March 12th of 1995. She was also ruled out. Jane Doe's DNA and fingerprints are available for comparison, so if you have any indication of who this Jane Doe may be or an assumption, it's best to reach out to the link down below so you can check out all that information. That is pretty much today's case. This is called the Suitcase Jane Doe, who is missing. I have posted the photos of what they suspect this individual to look like. Hopefully it helps someone. I mean, she has been a Jane Doe for over 20 plus years. So hopefully this sparks some new interest in this case, because there has not been any new information from the disappearance, or if maybe someone else went missing around that time frame. You just never know. But nonetheless, that is today's video, guys.